Yo, Theo here. Good day to you, my friends. This is day 3 of the Christmas fast. That is a 3-day challenge, but I'm going 100 hours because that's a pretty number. And yeah, on day 3, going to do some ice skating again. Gonna do a sauna. So I'm not gonna film so much of that because yeah, you've already seen that. But I'm gonna do a little strength workout today too. So I'm gonna show you a little bit of that, and then afterwards I'm gonna talk about something I've been thinking a lot about recently, which is fasting and building muscle. So that's an interesting topic, I think. So stay tuned and we'll talk through it in a bit. On another note, feeling great now that I added a nicotine primarily back, some caffeine as well. It's not, I've been talking to people in the comments on my last video, and caffeine is not the big one for me. It's just that coffee and snooze go so well together. You know, a very well-known combo. You take a cup of coffee and then afterwards, so windy now. Take a cup of coffee and then you put in a snooze afterwards. But yeah, I've drastically lowered the consumption already, so that feels good. Just giving myself enough to be able to focus. I woke up really early today, so I've been getting a lot of studying done. That's good. So now I'm doing all of this. Do some studying after that, and maybe meet a friend or so afterwards. Yeah, let's do it. Just gotta say that this is something I love about fasting. You become so chill, and confident is not even the right word. Like, just carefree, I guess. Like, now I've gotten used to it, but I still can feel a little bit awkward going with a camera like this among people. But fasting like this, I don't even care. Like, I don't even think about it. So that's a very, very cool thing about fasting, I think. When you remove food and everything, you know, other stuff just seems less important, I guess. So that's something I keep hammering down. Very cool. You become zen fasting. Back to it. So this is so awesome. Like, not only do I have a gym in my house, sauna very nearby, I do have this ice just not even 2 kilometers away too. So yeah, but I'm gonna show some training clips after this, and then I'll talk about the subject in the title. now editing, I realized I forgot to say something that I was going to say in this segment coming up. But if you think my form looked a little like uneven or floppy, I think that's correct, because it's been so long since I trained in this very fasted state. But it's kind of surprising, like the bench press, I was very surprised by. It doesn't feel heavy, it just feels different, very strange. It's like you get less local fatigue in your the muscle use, I would say, but just more general fatigue. Like it's just heavy, but in a weird way. But so my form was a little off for that reason, especially in the shoulder press, I think, because also that one I haven't done in a while because of this shoulder here. But yeah, just wanted to say that. Now you're going to see me walk in the forest. Okay, so now I've ice skated for half an hour or so, had a workout and a sauna session. And yeah, let's start by talking about training fasted. So I haven't trained this fasted, like over 48 hours, in a long while. I generally don't like training fasted, and by that I mean training like heavy strength training, because you know I want to build strength and muscle, and that's not really possible when you're fasted. I guess you could build strength in the way that you can still train your nervous system, you know, your range of motion, your movement, work on your form, but you know, like the general hypertrophy, muscle growth, you can't really do fasted. So for this workout, I did, of all heavy compounds, the bench press, the squat, the deadlift and the shoulder press, I did 3 warm-up sets and then 1 heavy set where the goal would be, if everything worked perfect, I would do the normal weight I usually train on and do 1 or 2 reps short of failure. And this time I did it a little bit different. The bench press I basically did that on, for sure had 1 more rep there. The deadlift, I for sure had many more reps. I was surprised actually at how easy it was. The squat and the shoulder press I did a bit different, because the squat is, if you compare the deadlift and the squat, it's easier with a deadlift to just focus on the concentric part, you know, when you pull the bar up and then you can just drop it down, because when you train fasted you don't want to break down muscle, and that's what happens in the negative. When you control the negative, that's when muscle fibers and micro tears happen. So the squat, it's a lot tougher to do this way because it's kind of scary to just drop down, you know, into a squat carrying a lot of heavy weight. So the squat I actually cut. Like I haven't been doing squats in a while, like over a month for real, because I've been focusing on my deadlift, and also, you know, I have some hip mobility issues that come and go. But so last time I've done 1 real session with squats recently, and then I did 110 kilos, 10 reps per set. So I just cut the reps in half because I really didn't want to break down muscle. I got kind of sore from the last time I squatted, so wanted to be sure. And the shoulder press, you know, if you've been following me, you know I've had a shoulder injury. It's a lot better now, and actually really great during this fast. So I'm hoping to heal that for a bit more. So I really wanted to work the muscles for a bit, but I took a weight that I for sure knew wasn't too heavy for me. Did 6 reps, probably had like twice as many, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. I just wanted to stimulate the muscles for a bit and for sure not make the injuries worse. Okay, so let's talk a bit about building muscle on a fast. Or not on a fast, but fasting and building muscle. There's a reason I called it that. So I've been, you know, I got into training and building muscle and strength way before I got into fasting. And yeah, I mean, I've tried many different things, but my conclusion is though that fasting, even intermittent fasting, will probably never be the fastest way to put on muscle and strength. It is very possible to do, but it's probably not the fastest way. And I've said this before, I think eating like a bodybuilder, like probably in like a 15-hour window, like the reversed 16-8 routine basically, that's probably the best for muscle growth, but it comes at a price. Like like the first thing is, of course, you put on a lot more body fat. Like when I bulked a year ago, I guess, when I started going to the gym, I did gain like 8 kilos in 10 weeks, and I think like probably, yeah, I'm gonna turn around because someone's coming and I'm just walking for the video. Yeah, but probably I gained like 8 kilos and probably only 2 were muscle. And I was noticeably less, you know, shredded, if you will. And also, so that's a big obvious one, that you put on more fat eating like a bodybuilder. But also, there's, you know, health. My thing is about health, strength, muscle, you know, all of them combined, you know. No one is very, or I guess health is most important, but that's also not priority one always, because performance training isn't always the most healthy choice. But so, you know, eating like a bodybuilder, eating all day, you're gonna get very insulin resistant, you know, could get diabetes type 2, probably not if you're eating healthy foods, but you could. Inflammation issues, depending on what you eat, some of your organs may take some damage. So, and you know, it can probably go on for a bit. That's what I think of right now at the top of my head. But yeah, so that's the first part. Then there's something I've been thinking about that, you know, it's hard, very hard with fasting and training, because very little studies, and some things are like hard to just learn from experience. Or would take a really long time, like very, very much experience to know for sure. But you know, I keep bringing up these studies. There's more than one, with one in particular, when they had a group of mice on the 16-8 intermittent fasting routine basically, and the other group on the reverse routine, like the bodybuilder eating routine. And they ate the same things, the same calories, but the group of mice that ate in a more restricted window gained more muscle mass and lost more fat just from that. So, you know, I think there's something to that too. Like the immediate, the best way to get gains from one training session might be to eat like a bodybuilder on that day or the days around it. But long term, maybe intermittent fasting could even be make more gains, you know. So this is just speculation. Just speculation. I mean, I base it on that study with mice, of course, and I'm not saying anything for sure. But so what I want to tell you is, don't be afraid of fasting if you want to gain muscle, because, you know, you gotta think about it. What's your main goal here? Is it just building muscle at any price? Because then you could just go on steroids. And yeah, that's not something I plan to do, at least. Yeah, you can for sure. I mean, I've even gained muscle and strength eating 1 meal a day, and I think that's absolutely not optimal at all. I would very much prefer a routine where you train every other day and eat every other day, like the Cole Robinson lifestyle. 48, the day I die. Maybe I won't do it till the day I die, but sometimes for sure I'm gonna do that routine, training every other day, you know, chaining 48-hour fast. Because what you can do then is you can stretch out the eating window on the training day, give you lots and lots of energy to build muscle with, but also the insulin spikes, giving the muscle nutrition, and then you have the fast on the other day, you know. One thing I probably should squeeze in somewhere, chances are you already know this if you follow this channel, but you know, after 48 hours of fasting, growth hormone is increased by, I don't remember the exact number, it's something like 500%. And you know, that doesn't make sense to a lot of people. Like, yeah, like actually some girls at work, like young girls, 18 years old, were like, that can't be true. They, you know, it's not me, by the way, that comes start preaching fasting, I just had to mention it when I didn't have any food when they were. And yeah, but so growth hormone increases a lot, and so that's why fasting is so muscle sparing. I've never come off a fast and felt weaker, except my 3-day hard dry fast, but that's a little different. It's a lot more taxing on your body. Do it for other reasons too. It's more of a detox thing. But yeah, so even I think the 48s that I'm gonna stick to now for a while. I'm not gonna do one of these longer fasts in a long while, I think, because the 48s are, the performance fast, the lean, the already fit fast, and I love them. Like my workouts after breaking 48-hour fasts are always awesome. I would just guess that you have such a nice hormone boost, and not just growth hormone, just dopamine and everything. Refraining from eating, refraining from, it's such a big reward for you normally, that you get such a nice little boost when you break a fast. And I think that, gives you some extra power, just feeling good energy, not necessarily that you're actually stronger, just you have good capacity to use maximum of your strength. So that's something I should squeeze in. We'll see where. But yeah, another thing, I privated my videos from the hard dry fast because the plan was to make a documentary kind of soon after that with a friend. Kind of rain checked that one, and I realize now that I have so much unused material, because I'm probably gonna do it at some point. But so I've unprivated those videos. So if you wanna backtrack, I've been getting a lot of questions about dry fasting. There's not really much information about dry fasting there, but it's at least my experience and thoughts during. Notice, if you watch the videos chronologically, notice how much, what a hard time I have forming sentences when I'm have heavy withdrawals from especially nicotine. And notice, I think it's in the evening on the second day when I'm all of a sudden just so clear spoken and completely detoxed. It's kind of funny change to see. But yeah, let's get back to wherever I cut off. About training fasting, someone's throwing a basketball in the gym. I'm just walking around outside the gym. Training building muscle, the way I trained today, so I did all those heavy compounds like I told you, and this is also just not science, because once again there's not much science on particularly strength training and fasting, but my reasoning is that I told you I don't want to break down muscle, I want to stimulate the nervous system. And what I'm hoping here, using some of my uncommon sense, is that you stimulate the nervous system enough so that the body realizes that these muscles, we need them, and we're in a catabolic state right now. We're in ketosis, we're fasting, haven't gotten any food in 2 days, but these muscles, apparently we have some heavy lifting to do, so better not eat these muscles before we're starving. So that's my reasoning there. So I did those heavy compounds like I told you. Then I basically did one set on any machine for the whole body in the gym. Once again, saving a few reps, and I actually got a decent pump this time, and that's something I've noticed, by the way. If you know anything about this, please tell me. But I used to, after fasting for over 2 days, I could really see that I was flat, that all the muscle glycogen was gone from the muscles. And it's just changed. I look bigger, fasted now. It might be that I just put on some more muscle and I just notice it, because the difference when I fast isn't as big. So hopefully that's true. But if anyone knows anything about this, why would if not from gains, why would my muscles look fuller fasted now when they didn't used to? Is it something Is there some adjustment the body does in some way? I mean, I guess it can't save muscle glycogen for start saving that much longer, especially since I've been very active. I probably hit ketosis before the 24-hour mark. So yeah, but that's some thoughts about I gotta turn around now so I don't go too deep into the forest. This was really nice. I just walked out right of the sauna, basically took my training clothes again, just to cool down. I'm gonna walk home and take a real shower there. Yeah, but so that was some thoughts about training and fasting, building muscle in particular. Yeah, the conclusion is that it's very, very possible. It will be slower. I don't think you limit the total amount of gains you do at all. You will do it slower, but you will build great discipline and get awesome health benefits in the meantime. Like, remember, I think it's awesome. Strength training, building muscle is a lot of fun, but I won't do it at any price. Do it in a good way. Just let some lady pass by with her, what are they called? Like, I love that dog, but those brown ones, they're like long with short legs. They're called, are they called taxes in English too? We say tax. Yeah, but so, yeah. You can absolutely make nice gains, both with intermittent fasting and prolonged fasting. I don't have everything documented from my journey with training and fasting, but take my word for it, my gains have slowed down at some point, when I tried routines that weren't the most effective, but I've never lost strength, not once during this. I mean, yeah, of course, some in my bench press and shoulder press because I actually injured my shoulder, but everything, like my deadlift, I kept increasing it up to 200 kilos while doing, on average, probably, if you take all the fasts longer than 1 day, I've done probably 148 per week for like 4 months. And I reached that. So yeah, let that be final note. 200 kilos deadlift reach on prolonged fasting training routines. Yeah, so we'll see. Maybe I'll upload another video tomorrow if I think about something. Otherwise, I'll probably upload the rest from this fast on the first day of the new year, so you have something nice to watch when you're hungover, probably. So like, subscribe, peace.